Hey guys, it's Tear. I'm back. I'm sorry for really no content lately. I know it's been a very long time since I've posted my last video. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has continued to tune in, and to all my subscribers. We hit just about 250 subscribers, and that is absolutely insane. I mean, I really never thought that this channel would get anywhere close to that. I mostly made it as just a reference for me for being able to go back to if I ever forgot something. Um, and I ended up just, being like, whatever, I'll post it. And it really took off. And yeah, I can't be more thankful for that. I mean, it's absolutely insane. And I really appreciate everybody who tunes in and enjoys my content. It's absolutely phenomenal. Um, and I want to say thank you to everyone that reaches out and asks questions. I'm happy to engage with you guys, and I try my best to respond as fast as possible. And yeah, just honestly, thank you. So today is going to be a little bit of a rant. First off, I want to kind of explain what this channel is going to start being, kind of the evolution of this channel. So far, I don't have a full map planned out, but I am thinking about doing more sort of cybersecurity stuff, and maybe some things with coding, and playing around with like Arduino Pies, maybe doing some malware analysis, making some Trojans, that sort of thing. So it'll be a lot. It'll be a big mix of that sort of stuff in that like technology arena. Um, and so I don't know how much of it will like be very very consistent, and I hope that's not makes it really really difficult. I'm hope it'll kind of I can do it in a more seamless manner so it's still enjoyable for all you guys. I'm gonna still try to get some content for tweaking computers out, but I really kind of have gotten a long way from that currently, and part of it's just because a lot of the stuff that I've made sort of covers most of the useful things, I would say. Um, there's other tweaks and stuff that you can make, and you can go and play around with the services that run the machine and the registry and all sorts of different stuff. But a lot of that's going to make minute changes, and it's going to be really customized to each person's setup, and it won't I can talk about how to do it, but I can't necessarily do a one size fits all for those sort of things. And a lot of them, you probably won't even know the difference. And the other thing is I can make you can make changes to make like something like an old Ryzen 7 processor, maybe like the 2700s, or something, running with a like 1080 Ti. Like, you can make it run better, but is it going to outperform a new gen Intel with the 3000 series NVIDIA cards? No, it's not even close. Like, it's just not even um, the comparison there is insane of how much better that the um, newer devices and CPUs and GPUs and everything run. I mean, it's crazy how far they've come in terms of product design. So that's sort of it too. It's there's only so much I can really do in that area to make things better, and I feel like I've covered like if not all of it, a very large majority of it. So I'm trying to sort of extend onto new things, some stuff that I've been doing in my life, and I and kind of have interest in, and trying to basically provide that interest to you guys. So maybe that I can inspire you to kind of get into that field, or pique your interest, or at least just somewhat entertain you. Um, so that's what I'll be doing with the channel going forward. Um, you guys can let me know if you really hate it. Let me know, and I'll try to find a middle ground. I don't want to I don't want to alienate my viewers, because I know like this large majority of the channel is built off like just PC tweaking, and it's going to be really taking it's a similar scope, but it's taking a pretty different direction, and I don't want people to feel like uh, you know there's no longer a reason to watch the channel. Um, so you guys just let me know how it goes. You can be very critical. That's okay. I'll understand. Um, but yeah, just be honest is the biggest thing, so I can kind of know where to go with it. Um, so that's all I have to say about that. Into the rant for today, which at this point that's pretty much the channel update. So if that's all you really want to know, you're happy. I'm happy if you take off. That's all right. Um, thanks for watching. But and if you want to stay for the rest of it, feel free. What I'll be talking about is motivation, determination, and discipline, and really just the overall how to like achieve the goals, set and achieve goals in life a lot more effectively, or if not effectively, just achieving them. Period. I think a lot of people set a lot of different goals, and sometimes they hit those goals and they could have done it a different way or faster, but you know, at least they hit it. And then I think there's a lot of goals people set that just never get done. And one of the biggest misconceptions with all that stuff is the motivation portion of it, which is good. Don't get me wrong. You want the motivation to get interested in whatever you're doing and to basically set that goal. You need that motivation to pique your interest, to decide that you want to do whatever you want to do, and set that goal for it. So the other thing with that, though, is that a lot of people will say, oh, okay, well, I need more and more motivation. I'm just not motivated. I can't get motivated. And the motivation isn't what's important, really, at all. It's like a stage. Like, the motivation is just the precursor to everything. You're just kind of setting the stage for success with the motivation. That's not what's going to get you to success. And chasing that won't really get you anywhere. It'll just get you really interested in getting somewhere, and it's not gonna be as effective or really affect any sort of effective. So where am I going with this? The rest of it comes in determination. So we set a goal, and preferably you would make something you feel like you can achieve. So don't set unreasonable goals, because if you set set multiple unreasonable goals, and then you hold yourself to that really high standard, what's going to end up happening is you'll get disappointed in yourself when you don't reach it, and then you'll feel like you no longer want to try for that goal. So if it's a really, really large goal, split it up into smaller steps. You know, if you want to write a book, so let's say, well, writing a book is a very, very long and tedious project with lots of revisioning and just trying to figure out what you want to write to begin with. So, you know, don't think of the goal as writing the book. Think of the goal as writing one chapter, or you know, if that's too much, one paragraph, you know, or the hook, the intro for the story that you're writing, or whatever it is, right? So you split it up to make it a little bit easier. But then you have to get and stay determined. And the determination is basically showing up every day and doing it. And people think that the motivation is what's going to make them show up every day and do it, but unfortunately that's not it. You're just going to have to really just find it within yourself to show up and do it every day. It's a habit. It's not a motivation thing. So what you have to do is understand that, realize that, and then work to build the habit. So you get motivated, and this is my goal, and then you go, okay, well, if I really want to reach this goal, what I need to do is start getting used to putting a little bit of work in every single day towards this goal. And that'll build the habit that will help you continue to progress with your goal when motivation no longer is there, because that's going to fleet. It's pretty fleeting. It's going to go away very quickly. And you have to have something else there to continue moving that train, so to speak, forward. And then once we get through determination, we're going to get to the other end of determination, which is the discipline. And like, if you're thinking of it like a tree, you have your discipline is the third like tree, and then little branch, which is going to be like burnout. And what you have to get a healthy medium between this. So what you're trying to do is be disciplined enough that when getting determined, doing the habit gets difficult to do, you still do it, you push yourself, but you don't push yourself so much that you burn out and then you give up. And this is difficult. This is very hard to balance, and you might be better, you might know your limits better than some other people would know their limits. And so, if you don't really know where you find burnout at, you're gonna have to unfortunately you're gonna have to kind of find the baseline of where burnout's at, and then you go, okay, that was too much, and you back off, give yourself a little bit of a break, and then approach it in a slower manner and allow yourself more time in between to take breaks and to enjoy life while you achieve this goal, so that you don't burn out and eventually give up on it. And so that's the burnout portion. The other portion is the discipline. And the discipline sort of plays into the burnout, but it's not quite. Burnout is a little different. So when you get burnt out, you're basically done, right? There's nothing else you can do to re-energize yourself to want to continue. At least, well, there is. It would just be an extended period of time, but there's nothing quickly that you can do to kind of refresh and get back into it, right? So that's really what burnout is. Is this you're gonna need this extended break to feel better. But there's sort of like there's things that aren't necessarily burnout. Like, just, I guess you'd call it just fatigue, really. Like work fatigue or goal fatigue. I don't know, just come up with some sort of name for it. But it's just fatigue, and fatigue could be heavy, or fatigue could be minor. But it's not burnout. That's the key distinction there. Is the fatigue is bearable, but it's not burnout. So what do you do with this? Well, things unfortunately are going to be difficult. There's going to be a lot of blockades on your journey to completing your goal. And what you have to know and kind of understand is that you're going to have a lot of times where you'll feel really tired, and you won't really desire the goal as much as you did when you initially started. Not because you don't want that goal, but more because you're so tired that you've told yourself you don't want to do this anymore. But subconsciously, that's something you're doing, but in reality, like, you do, it is a goal you set, it's something you want to get to, but your subconscious is kind of like, hey, I'm tired, I want to back off, what can I do mentally to get you to back off? It's like fighting you, basically. It's like your own brain fighting you, like, okay, what do I need to say or do, or what excuse I need to make up to get myself to stop putting this much energy into it, because it's fatigued. And that's where the discipline comes in. You have to be able to push through this really difficult period of where your brain's going to basically be telling you, like, no, I'm done, I don't want to do it, and there's all these excuses that are going to come up. Oh, today's just not a good time to do it, or I'm feeling like really tired today, but I don't want to sleep yet, so I'm just going to play some video games and just waste a day. Those sort of things. And and maybe, I mean, if you're feeling really, really tired, like take a nap, like you actually are like exhausted or something, go ahead and sleep. But like a lot of times you'll find it's just like, it's not like necessarily laziness, but it's sort of like you're kind of tired, but you could push yourself a little bit more. But instead you decide to like lay off the brakes, basically. But you're not like so exhausted that you like actually could sleep. You're just kind of like this intermediate. And so you say, okay, well, I'm going to do like a low energy activity instead of pushing myself with the last little bit of energy I have left, and then going to sleep or taking a break or whatever. And so, and these are somewhat trivial examples, but I think you kind of can understand the concept of how this evolves from here, which is basically just any and all meta of excuses will start arriving, and you'll also start um, seeing things in life and sort of creating excuses out of them. So, um, maybe you had a bad day for whatever reason, something happened, um, and it wasn't like the worst thing ever. Like if it's a traumatic experience, like had a passing of somebody, or maybe it was a really, really, really bad breakup that you'd been with for a long time. Those sorts of things can really take it out of you. But let's say you, I don't know, you like hit the car window and like the mirror smashed. I've done that before. Backing out of the driveway, and there's a tree branch that gotten too long, and I wasn't paying attention, and it hit my freaking car window door and smashed it. Now, that generally those are an easy fix. They sell car mirrors, and it's just you put a little bit of adhesive tape on there, and you're good. And the window's all nice and fixed up, and it's not a huge inconvenience to your day. But what might happen is, well, oh, I had to deal with this today, and it was really difficult for me, and so therefore, I don't want to do any more work, and I don't want to really work on the other goals that I have. And so that's the sort of thing you can extrapolate from, which is just something in life that isn't so bad that it completely paralyzes you from being able to do anything, such as a traumatic experience of some kind. Um, but it's it's enough for you to go, I don't really want to do extra. I don't want to put any extra energy into things because this menial thing happened. That's really the different distinction. If it's something really, really big, um, that's excusable. Don't worry about that. Take care of that first, and then you can get back to do it following your goal later. Because if something really devastating in your life is happening, that needs to be dealt with first. But this is more for trivial things. So you'll kind of know it when you're doing it. Like it'll be like little things that are just like, oh, well, this happened, and now I'm using it as an excuse to not do this, not to achieve my goal or keep putting work in it or whatever. Um, and you have to get past all of that, and that can be very difficult to do. But that's the discipline portion of it. It's going, okay. I've been very determined. I've showed up as frequently as I can that works with my schedule and everything, and I've put in the time. Now it's gotten difficult. It's not as easy anymore, and I'm gonna have to start fighting myself to show up, and that's where you're just gonna have. It's not gonna be that motivation thing. It's not gonna be what everyone says, like, well, I just need to get motivated, and I just need to get like really excited about. That's not gonna be there. Maybe something exciting within the project will happen, and you might get a glimpse of that. But for the most part, that is going to be gone completely. And what you're gonna have to do is you have to really assess, like, how bad do I want this? And if this goal is something you really, really want, don't let that stand in the way from you doing it. It sucks, but you're gonna have to put in the hard work and just keep on trudging forward, and know that it will pay off, and that once you get to the end of it, you'll get this huge sense of relief, and you'll get the benefit of whatever goal you achieved. And so it might be difficult now, but it's almost like when you're doing a wall sit, I'd say, or you're doing squats. Something that's like really endurance and very difficult to do. It takes a lot out of you, and in the moment it sucks. But what you realize later, after doing it over and over and over again and pushing through the pain regardless, is that, okay, I grew the shit out of my legs. And that's the same sort of principle you'd apply. It's that, okay, it's gonna suck. I'm not gonna be. There's no sort of motivation in that. It's just gonna be kind of pure hell to get through it, but that's that's worth it. And you just have to come to terms with the fact that you are gonna have to push yourself, and that there's nothing else that's really gonna push for you. It's complete. It's really completely on you. And I think that pretty much covers everything. So I hope that that helps anyone who's kind of in that position. I've dealt with that a lot, trying to get things going, and I'm looking for the motivation, and it's not there, and I give up on something because of that. But in reality, um, I'm looking for something that won't be there, and I'm waiting for someone else to come along or something to come along and push me, but that's not going to happen, and you have to find it within yourself to push yourself. Um, so yeah, I hope that helps. I know it was like randomly off topic. It was just something that popped in my head today. I felt like getting on and just talking about. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.